Hey, welcome to the Fantasy Headliners. I'm Kyle Richardson. Thanks so much for tuning in to our first in-season fantasy baseball episode of the year. Excited to be talking about all the great information you see right here. So that's everything that we're going to be covering in this video. The video might be a little bit longer than the other videos that we try to do, but these videos are going to drop on Sundays and they're going to get you ready for the week ahead with DFS plays, waiver wire additions, guys who are trending up and down, 2-start targets, a lot of great information in these videos. So if they go a little bit longer than normal, I apologize. We'll try to get through a lot of information here quickly. If you don't know who I am Kyle Richardson. If you don't know me, you are probably not a part of Headliner Nation yet, and I highly encourage you to do that by hitting the subscribe button below. If you become a part of Headliner Nation during this episode, please let us know in the comments so Jake and I can welcome you personally. If you're already a part of Headliner Nation, thanks so much for your support, and welcome back to another episode. Let's start diving into all of this information here. Another just real quick note, okay, if you play fantasy football, just know that our fantasy football guide for 2019 is already on pre-sale. Head to TheFantasyHeadliners.com where you can pre-order yours today for only $19.99. It's going to be one of the best decisions you make for fantasy football. However, we need to talk about fantasy baseball. So let's start jumping into this, and we're going to talk about 2-start targets right away. So these are pitchers that are going to have 2 starts this week, or who are probable for 2 starts this week. And they have matchups that I like, that I think that you could get at least a quality start out of both of those matchups this week. Now keep in mind, if weather postpones things get switched around, those can always happen, so keep an eye. But if you have like weekly lineups and you need to be locking people on Monday, these are guys you can lock in for 2 starts. If you have some sort of a limit on how many starts you can have per week and you need to know, do I play them for both starts? Do I set them for one? That's why I'm going to name these guys for you. Number 1, Sean Newcomb for the Atlanta Braves. He gets the Chicago Cubs for his first start of the week. I think he can at least get a quality start out of that. Is a little bit more risky in my opinion, but he gets Miami for his second start, so I think these two will even out, and he'll give you a good, just a good overall performance this week, even if his start against Chicago isn't that great. David Price for Boston. He is at Oakland and at Arizona, a guy that I really like this week. Chicago White Sox, Ivan Nova. He is at Cleveland and at home against Seattle. Another couple of good matchups. Cleveland a little bit tougher, but they are kind of banged up right now. Cleveland, Mike Clevenger, he, just like I talked about, he gets the Chicago White Sox for his first start, and then he gets Toronto, both of those games at home. One of my kind of under the radar picks for this week, Brad Peacock from Houston. He is at Texas and at home against Oakland. I think he has an awesome opportunity for both of those starts to pitch above average, giving you really good starts. I think he has quality starts. I don't want to say locked in for those 2 matchups there, but I think he has really good opportunity to give you some great return this week. Steven Matz, he's at Miami for his first start. He gets Washington for his second start, a little bit more difficult. But again, I think just kind of like I said with Newcomb, these could end up averaging out this week. A name to keep an eye on, Domingo Germán. He gets Detroit at the beginning of the week, and then he is at Baltimore. We'll talk about him in the waiver wire targets here for a second, but 2 great matchups for him. And then Marcus Stroman, who had a great opening day performance against Detroit. He is at home against Baltimore and then at Cleveland. A couple opportunities for him to really start this season strong. A guy that I did not sleep on prior to this preseason, and I had mentioned to everybody, I hope he bounces back. I think he bounces back. Buy into him. Good start to the season so far. Moving on to waiver wire targets now. I already mentioned one, Domingo Germán. He is 68% owned. I'm typically going to try and throw out guys who are around 58% owned, but if there is a specific reason that maybe I think that you should run and grab him, if his ownership percentage isn't higher than that, I'll mention it. Domingo Germán, the reason I'm saying that is because if you're streaming a pitcher this week, I think he is a guy to stream, and only 68% of leagues he's owned, so there is an opportunity or a probability that he is available there for you to grab and at least use for this week. I wouldn't bank on him the rest of the season, but this week for sure. Some other waiver wire targets, Ryan Healy, a guy to keep an eye on, only 15% owned, 5 of 17 to start the season, 6 runs, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Another one, Jock Peterson, a guy who I didn't love coming into the season, mostly because I thought there was a chance that he could lose his job if he started off cold. He's not starting off cold. 4 of 9, 3 runs, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, only 36% percent owned and some decent matchups coming up soon. Adam Jones, a waiver wire target for me, a guy that is trending up because of the Steven Souza injury. This has opened up an opportunity for Adam Jones to play every day. 3 of 10 with a home run, RBI, and a run, only 38% owned right now. Two guys that are the biggest trenders right now. Everybody's running to grab them. The first one, though, I told you about this guy. If you are a part of Headliner Nation and you watched our sleeper videos, I told you about this guy. Go get him. And it's Domingo Santana, because I told you, I guarantee if he gets at least 500 at bats, I promise 30 home runs, if not more. He's already on that pace right now. 7 of 18 to start the season, 4 runs, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. He is 68% owned. But I'm going to tell you, if he's available in your league, even if it's a bench stash, do it. Go get him. Tim Beckham, also he's at 51% owned, so a little bit slower than Santana in terms of ownership percentage, but I assume that he is going to be widely owned heading into next week. 8 of 16, 7 runs, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. Those are my top waiver wire targets of the week. When we get to trending up and trending down, I'll talk about these guys as well. But some injury news today with Daniel Murphy, Garrett Hampson, Ryan McMahon, also targets for me. I'll talk about them in trending up, trending down here in a moment. Let's jump into DFS plays now. So DFS plays, I'm going to take you through each game of the week. I'm going to tell you, or not each day of the week, excuse me. I'm going to give you several hitters that you could take a look at that could really provide some great opportunities in your DFS lineups. I'm not going to mention pitchers in this segment, number one, because pitchers you typically spend up for and take the names that are pitching that day. You take the really good opportunities that are pitching that day. Also, some of these things with pitchers depend on weather and stuff like that. So I don't want to jump too far ahead and try to say, hey, on Friday, you got to take this pitcher, and then have something happen where they get moved around, game doesn't happen, or it's crappy weather, which in some instances is going to be affecting the pitcher a little bit more than the hitters. Again, though, I'm basing some of these facts around these pitchers or these hitters and why you should take them. So I'm going to typically leave pitchers out of this segment. But, you know, keep an eye out on those. I might drop those on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter at krich1532. I might drop those throughout the week. But let's jump into these here. On the first, so on Monday, let's talk about a few hitters here. Josh Bell at home against the Cardinals, facing Adam Wainwright. 5 of 10, 2 extra base hits, one of which is a home run. He's hitting 500 against him. Jose Abreu gets Mike Clevenger, 5 of 18 for a 278 average. He does have 2 home runs, 5 hits, 4 RBIs, struck out 6 times, but could end up being a good option, potentially get you a home run there. Joey Votto, Jose Peraza, Scott Schebler, all guys, Cincinnati, a potential stack against Zach Davies. Joey Votto is 9 of 23 for a 391 average with 1 home run and 3 walks. Jose Peraza, 5 of 15 for a 333 average, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. He has not struck out against Zach Davies. And Scott Schebler, a 364 average. He's 4 for 11, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 4 walks. Again, so an opportunity there for some walks. Rougned Odor against Brad Peacock. I know I listed Brad Peacock as a guy as a two-start target this week. Rougned Odor was the one guy that I took a look at and said, okay, against Brad Peacock, he could be a guy that could be a great value. 7 of 12 for a 583 average, 4 extra base hits, 2 of which are home runs and 3 RBIs. And then your really lock of the day, Mike Trout against Felix Hernandez, 31 of 83 for a 373 average, 14 extra base hits, 8 home runs, 20 RBIs. Going to Tuesday now. Few names to throw out here real quick. Mike Trout, again, another really good potential lock against Marco Gonzalez, 8 of 17 for a 471 average, 4 extra base hits. One of those is a home run. A real key play on Tuesday, Odubel Herrera against Max Scherzer. He's probably going to be super cheap. 14 of 41 for a 341 average, 6 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 6 walks. Marcus Semien and Kendrys Morales against Chris Sale. Semien is 4 of 12 for a 333 average, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. Kendrys Morales, 11 for 38 against Chris Sale. 281 average. He does have 10 strikeouts. However, he has 6 extra base hits and 7 RBIs against him. AJ Pollock against Madison Bumgarner, 16 of 60 for a 267 average, but 8 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. Justin Turner also against Madison Bumgarner, a 254 average, 7 extra base hits, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs. On Wednesday, the 3rd, not a whole lot here to play. Yuli Gurriel against Mike Minor, 6 of 13, 3 extra base hits, 5 RBIs, 462 average. Eric Hosmer and Will Myers against Robbie Ray. Hosmer, 3 of 10 with 2 home runs. Will Myers, 5 of 22 with 2 home runs as well. He has walked 10 times against Robbie Ray, who can be a little wild at times. Heading on to the 4th, a few more options here. Anthony Rendon against Noah Syndergaard, 9 of 26, 3 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Freddie Freeman gets John Lester, a 300 average, 3 extra base hits, 2 home runs. Albert Pujols against Edison Volquez, a 417 average against him, 3 extra base hits, and 2 home runs. Justin Turner, 13 for 28 against Tyler Anderson with a home run and 4 extra base hits. Gene Segura against Jake Odorizzi is 6 for 13 with 3 extra base hits. Marcus Semien is 10 for 26 against Colin McHugh with 5 extra base hits. Adam Jones against Rick Porcello, 13 for 60, but he does have 4 extra base hits against him. And Zach Kozar against Lance Lynn, 8 of 45. However, of those 8 hits, 4 of them have gone for extra bases. On to the 6th now. So heading into the 6th, Ryan Braun against Cole Hamels, 13 for 40 career, 4 extra base hits, 5 RBIs. Ryan Zimmerman against Zach Wheeler. Excuse me. Trying to run through these fast. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but trying to give you as many of these guys as possible. Ryan Zimmerman against Zach Wheeler, 8 of 23, 2 extra base hits. Both of those have been home runs. Jock Peterson against John Gray on the road in Colorado. Always a lot of opportunity there. 3 of 17. However, he has 3 extra base hits, 2 of which are home runs. Elvis Andrus against Tyler Skaggs, 7 for 17, 2 extra base hits. Gary Sanchez against Dylan Bundy, 3 of 10. 1 of those hits a home run. Christian Yelich, Cole Hamels, 7 of 22, 4 extra base hits. Shin Soo Choo against Tyler Skaggs. He is 7 of 14, 500 average, 3 extra base hits. A.J. Pollock, again, on the road against Colorado against John Gray. He is 4 for 11. And our final day of the week here, Michael Conforto on the 7th against Max Scherzer. He's really had his number. These numbers surprised me. 8 of 23, 4 extra base hits, all of those gone for a home run, 5 RBIs. Anthony Rendon against Steven Matz, 8 of 24, 3 extra base hits, all of those home runs, 6 RBIs. Travis Shaw against Kyle Hendricks, 6 of 22 with 5 extra base hits, 3 home runs. Kendrys Morales against Brad Peacock, 5 of 20, but 4 extra base hits, 3 are home runs. Joey Votto against Jordan Lyles. He has walked 5 times, 7 for 14, hitting a crisp 500. Of those 7 hits, 4 are for extra bases. Chris Bryant against Zach Davies, 13 of 35, so a 371 average, 5 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Edwin Encarnacion against Ivan Nova, 12 of 35, 5 extra base hits, 9 RBIs. On Drelton Simmons against Shelby Miller, 6 of 10. So that's one to keep an eye on. Justin Turner, 10 of 25 for a 400 batting average, 4 extra base hits. So those are a bunch of numbers, a quick run through of a lot of guys this week, DFS opportunities for you. You might have to scroll back and listen to that one again and write a few names down. Make sure you keep these guys in the back of your head this week as you're constructing your DFS lineups. A lot of opportunities there against really good matchups for them. Moving on to trending up now and trending down. It's the start of the season. Okay, I don't want to hurt too many guys in terms of value just because they might be off to a slow start, and I also don't want to, after 4 or 5 games, say, "Oh, these guys are monsters the rest of the season." So instead of doing that, I'm going to take a look at some younger guys who are trending up and then some injuries that are trending down. Trending up, Fernando Tatis Jr., as you know, he's getting the start there at shortstop. His name is trending up. I don't expect him to be a huge producer right away. So I'm not, if I were you and this is not a dynasty league, I'm not going to run out and try and trade for him. He's going to have his struggles this year. Chris Paddock from San Diego, a guy that I mentioned a few weeks back that you need to be keeping an eye on. He is one who is trending up right now. He is in the rotation. We'll see how he does moving forward. Pete Alonso, another guy, another sleeper or another breakout player that I mentioned. If you've been watching these shows, his name has come up often. You know the name. get him if he is still out there. And then Garrett Hampson and Ryan McMahon, those names are trending up because of Daniel Murphy. We had a lot of concerns with McMahon and Hampson because McMahon came out of nowhere to really steal that job from Hampson to start the season. But Daniel Murphy, who is trending down for me now, just found out literally, actually before I started recording this, he has a fractured finger. So he's at least going to be out for 10 days, if not longer now. That's going to allow Garrett Hampson and Ryan McMahon both plenty of opportunity to go out there and produce. So keep an eye on both of them. Corey Nebel also trending down. He is done Tommy John surgery. So Josh Hader is going to be your closer there for right now. Keep an eye on Kimbrel. They might be making a move for him. And then Scooter Gannett is also going to be down and out for a while now. So that is going to be an issue for him. So, and Justin Upton as well with a toe injury. He is going to be out. So Scooter Gannett, Justin Upton, Corey Nebel, Daniel Murphy, all trending down for me due to injuries. And there you have it. There you have it. A quick hitting weekly preview show for you. Just around 15-16 minutes right now, so I'm going to try and stick in those areas. So if I'm moving super fast, okay, I apologize, but I want to get you as much information as possible. If you know the channel here, we try to get you as much information in a short amount of time. Don't want to waste a whole lot of your time because it's precious and you have some other things to do. So we want you to watch these videos, get some great information, move on possibly to another video or whatever else you have going on. But don't forget, we've got the comment section below. Leave any comments that you might have, any questions. I am most interactive on Twitter though, so make sure that you follow me on Twitter at krich1532. You can DM me there or you can tweet at me and I'll make sure that I get to those questions. But I'll try to answer as many as I can throughout the week. A lot of those questions, hopefully I was able to answer for you here. Thanks so much for tuning in to the first weekly preview show here of the season for fantasy baseball. A lot more content to come, a lot of great things to come, so keep an eye on all of that. Thanks so much. Appreciate it this season. Have a great time, and we'll talk to you soon.